our passion's the horses. If it wasn't for the horses and the livestock, I mean, that is our passion. I mean, from the time to watch them little babies be born, you know, I mean, every year that is probably the more fun than anything we do, is when those babies are born, to go out there and first thing we do, we take a picture of them, we write down all their markings, and I've had every single horse from the time that we started our breeding program 30 years ago. I have documentation and everything, so I can tell you exactly what mare they came out of and when and what time and when they were born.
And a lot of our good NFR mares, when we start raising colts on them, we'll haul the colt with them, you know, through the first few rodeos. So it's amazing. That set of colts, 4 years later, they've been on the truck and off with their mother and been to the rodeo. How much they remember just by going to town a couple times when they're a baby on the mare.
And stay together.
4 years later, they walk on like they're old champs, and some of the other ones a little, I don't know
and
about
the colts
this.
are buddies. You know, we weaned all the NFR colts earlier because we were hauling some of the mares this summer, and that set of colts will be buddies forever, absolutely forever. We have old Charlie Russell and show me the cards that we had taken down to the Hall of Fame, and those two never leave one another's side, ever. And same thing with Gaddafi and Frontier. Gaddafi was the world champion in 90, Frontier was the reserve champion in 1991, and those two horses never left one another's side. I'm telling you the truth, when we found Frontier dead, the reason we found him was because Gaddafi was standing over the top of him, and he never left his side until we went out and picked him up. That horse followed us around and never left that horse's side. It's a true story.
We do our tour every year at the NFR, Lori and I do.
Yeah, we do it for the senators oh gosh, I think it's all of Nevada senators and Senator Enzi and Barrasso, and
a lot
there's
of
some
invited
from Montana
guests,
too.
and we take them down behind the buck and chutes and how they're loaded, and we'll show them how the horses are stacked before they buck at the final, and then go back to the back pens.
And give them stories and stuff on the animals, and
when they see the whole deal and what it takes, and there's a night watchman there, watching over that stock 24 hours while it's in Las Vegas, and the feed and the care and what we do, and the passion they feel when we start talking about our animals and this and that. When we get out from the pens and get back into the room where we started this whole tour,
we're just surrounded.
They're just, God, we just can't imagine.
Question.
Yeah, what would it be like to come to your ranch?
Yeah.
And I mean, they're all about it. When they got there, well, what about this flank strap? And what about cruelty? And once they see what we do and the passion,
it's totally different.
And see and look into a horse's eye before they buck, it changes them. Yeah. They get a whole different look. Gaddafi, Miss Congeniality, Craig at Midnight. When they would
Frontier.
win, the catch pen might be open, but they're still going to make their lap. I mean, they just strut. I mean, you can just see their attitude. When I don't care if they're 90 on them or bucked them off. Yeah. You can just tell their expression and how they travel and how they how they carry their head and their tail after the 8-second whistle, or it might be after a 2-second buck off. You can tell they know they did what they were meant to do.
Gaddafi was famous for making a last lap. We would even tell our pickup men if they would go in to get him right away, he runs so fast he could just outrun them. And we'd just say, wait, make his round, and then they'd just go in and get him, because he would always make his lap afterwards. And his head would be high, and he was so proud. And really, I think the other horse that's that way is Craig is really proud. Yeah. He's finished, and he gets his old head, and he cocks it up, and his old front feathered feet, and he's the other one I see a lot of that in. Yeah. He knows what he's done.
And the champions, the Ty Murrays, the Casey Tibbs, they all had that little something that you could, they didn't say it, but you could just feel it being around them. And a great bucking horse is the same way. You can just, the way they handle themselves in the pen, how they walk on the truck, how they act after the 8-second whistle when they leave the arena. They just got something to them. They're unique, and I don't know, we just feed off it.
Yeah, there's nothing like a bucking horse in the world. There's a personality that you just can't believe. You walk in that pen, just like with Craig. We walked in and took photos with him last year, and he'd stand there and he'd just turn his head and look at you. He just looked at us. He knew that we were there to just take pictures, and we were proud of him.
about this Brocker, he's a little bit dangerous in the chute. He squashed Stephen Peebles a few years ago, similar to that right there.
Watch the power. That's pure power. And he's got a chance on Craig at Midnight. This is a big, strong horse. Bigelow's in trouble. He is taking all that whip. Oh, that's a long 8 seconds. Look at, he didn't look very big in the pin. He looks huge right there. He's
got Craig at Midnight.
So ranked. All right, O'Connell. Here he comes. Big rear out of the chute. Tim O'Connell. He's got a great ride started. Craig at Midnight. He is firing. Tim O'Connell's answering it jump for jump. That was big. This big gray is just a load.